I've been rocking over here. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Shameeka Stanley. Hold on, we got the Afro beat. Hey, we gotta get the vibe going. I heard y'all was vibing over here yesterday. I'm all the way on the other side. Bringing the hair vibes, bringing that energy with the micro mister. What happened to breakfast? What happened? I was waiting for it. You couldn't find it. Okay. Oh, okay. I got you. So I'm excited to bring you all this follicle system working in sync with the ozone LED micro mister. Yes, all three in one. So if you think that you had it all at the salon and barbershop, you are definitely missing one machine. Well, probably two, but I want you to take my advanced class to get that second one. But this one in particular can get you started today, right now, without any additional training. If you're already using the dryer, if you're already using the steamer, this micro mister is going to change the game. This micro mister is going to bring you additional money, premium services, tighter SOP. But without further ado, let me introduce myself. I'm Shameeka Stanley, all the way from the DMV, Maryland to be precise. I own a salon in Crofton, Maryland called Hair and Health. I am CEO there. I am CEO for Symmetrics Laboratories AI. And yeah, I'm going to start that other business. So you all have been asking about coaching. It's here. It's going on right now. Sign up for my advanced classes. Meet with me when I get off the stage. You got it? Nope, still don't got it. Oh, let's go ahead and get started. So this is my favorite product line. Why? Because I offer natural services. And what better product line to work with and partner with than Pure O? Pure O is bringing you all natural ingredients that work with you biologically, ingredients that make sense, ingredients that clients are looking for. Everybody had that rosemary hype. Everybody was like, does it have the rosemary in it? Well, guess what? The follicle system does, and I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to tell you why that follicle system is so important, why you need it at home, why you need it at the barbershop, why you need it in the salon. You have to have this system. Why? Because it does 4 things. I always said it did 2. Then I said it did 3. It actually do 4 things. So when you talk about tensile strength, when you talk about exfoliation, when you talk about stimulating hair growth, and wait a minute, blocking DHT, and I'm gonna start with that. So my favorite is the shampoo. Why? Not only does it has DHT inhibitors, and DHT is dihydrotestosterone. That is the leading cause of thinning hair loss. Now you have exfoliants. So if you're into skincare, which that is where I am today in some of the shows, that white willow bark is also salicylic acid, naturally occurring salicylic acid. Salicylic acid is a gentle exfoliator. Yeah, she like, I need to give me a system right now. Yeah, I know. You just get excited. You like, oh, give me one. But you're going to get all 4. Watch when I get all 4. I'm going to go through all 4. All right? So far we got the saw pimento, which is the DHT blocker. Second, we have the white willow bark. Just remember when they say, where my dog's at? Be like that white willow bark. Natural exfoliant. That's the power in this shampoo. It's aloe base, so it's at a 4.5 to 5.5, perfect for a natural scalp biome. Once you have that scalp biome slightly acidic, that's the perfect environment for all the good bacteria and everything else in that biome to do its job. You want it to eradicate everything that will cause problems, like an overgrowth of malassezia, a fungus that can be on the scalp. But yeah, I'm getting excited again. So let's go back to white willow bark. So that's the power so far. DHT blocker, exfoliating the scalp. Then we have my favorite baseline ingredients, hibiscus. I know we think sorrel. We like, yeah, that's sorrel. Well, sorrel is very medicinal. Hibiscus is soothing. It has ginseng. It has yerba mate. Both actually stimulate the blood flow of the scalp. So let's back up because I want you to remember this. Saw pimento. It's aloe based. White willow bark to exfoliate. That's naturally occurring salicylic acid. And then my favorite three, the hibiscus, ginger, yerba mate. It sounds like a drink. Like, I don't wonder who's going to try to make that. I know she laughing at me. Doesn't sound like a drink. It's like you want to go home and make that, right? But it also has that fourth thing. Remember I said that it's going to make your hair grow. It's going to stimulate that growth. It's going to exfoliate the scalp. It's going to also build the tensile strength. It has quinoa protein in it. Yeah, I don't talk about that much. I'm like, wait a minute, it does something else. Yes, it has quinoa protein. So again, I want you to remember, stimulates growth, exfoliate the scalp, tensile strength for the hair. You can't go wrong. So if a client comes in, let's put this in real time. If a client comes in and they have dry and itchy scalp, can you use our follicle growth shampoo? Yes, you can. And you're going to use it in sync with the micro mister. Why? Because the micro mister is going to make this better. It's going to make that service premium. It's going to make the product stimulate the scalp and actually go deeper into the scalp. Wait till I get to the drops and the balm because it just gets exactly amazing. So this, my friend, is the micro mister. If my client came in and I want to put on a hazmat suit, you know what I'm talking about. You know the client that come in, they haven't seen you in months, and you're like, I'm not touching that. What does that smell? Why does it look like that? Wait a minute, let me get my phone and just not show the face because everybody's got to see this buildup. Well, that buildup actually can be eradicated by using, we have a pre-poo, we have a detox, but the follicle shampoo can also do it as well. Because remember, you're doing your three things. You are going to rebuild that tensile strength. You're going to enhance that hair growth because we have all these components of blood circulation. And then you're also going to exfoliate. And then least but not last, you got those DHT blockers in there doing their job so that you have a decrease in thinning hair and balding. So for all of those that have the clients that are 30 and up, those women may start to go through the change. That change, meaning their hair will shed. They would get thinning. They can end up with the M hairline or ending with thinning in the crown. And all of the above can be treated with the follicle growth shampoo. And that is why it can be treated. So this is very powerful. So if the client comes in and they have a lot of buildup, you sit them under the micro mister. The micro mister is so powerful. I use it a lot in my salon. I created probably about 4 or 5 premium services. The rest of them I made into packages, meaning they need to come in more often. I could turn those packages into memberships because I'm all about systems. If you are not creating systems with your services, if you are not telling the clients that they need to come in more often, then are you really providing the service that they need in order to heal or treat their condition? You're not. The only way that you're going to make that an actual service that the client's going to be consistent with is by sharing with them after that consultation exactly what they need, how often they need it, and why. And yes, you have to reiterate. Every time they come in, you have to tell them, this is what you need. This is how many visits. This is what we're doing, and these are the results. So when you see me at the booth, I have a tricoscope. That tricoscope allows me to look at the scalp microscopically. Looking at the scalp microscopically before and after the service ensures my clients that exactly what I'm using is actually going to provide the service, the treatment that we need. It's exactly what I said it's going to do. So if I say it's going to exfoliate the scalp, after we get from the shampoo bowl and I look at it again, it exfoliated the scalp. If I say it's going to grow the hair within 4 to 6 weeks, my client is seeing new growth. We're looking at it with the microscope and we're seeing that there's vellus hair, meaning there's miniaturization of the little hairs coming through the scalp, and they are new. We want more hair in the anagen phase. The follicle system will put the hair in the anagen phase. And the only way you're going to get that to penetrate the scalp deeper is by using the micro mister. So here's the micro mister. Now, yes, it is on sale. I know you want to know the price. I never say the price to the end. The micro mister is that powerful. What's the difference between the micro mister and the steamer? Because you might say, well, I could just put them under a steamer. No, you can't. I mean, you could, but no, you can't. Not if you want that premium service. If you want that premium money, you want that premium service, you're not putting them under the steamer. You're going to put them under the micro mister. Why? Because that steamer has water that has to be heated. When it is heated, the molecular structure of that water does not change. It boils. It gets really hot. Matter of fact, if the client is sensitive, you can really cause more harm than good. And it's not creating a deeper penetration. So when we think about the layers of the hair, outside being the cuticle, next layer being the cortex, the inner layer being the medulla. Nothing's reaching the medulla. We're clear of that. But that cortex, that steamer cannot reach that cortex. But guess what can? The micro mister. The micro mister would penetrate the hair all the way down to the cortex. So again, if I have that client coming in, you know, well, I want to put the hazmat suit on, and I'm using the follicle growth shampoo, or I decided to use our ozone pre-poo, or I decided to use our detox shampoo, that pre-treatment, putting them underneath this micro mister, they would sit here. I'm going to take this hood and place it around the perimeter of the hairline. I'm going to make sure it's airtight. I'm going to tell you why. So we have a little adjuster here to make sure it's airtight. I can adjust the hair right from the hood here and make sure it's closed. We do not operate this machine with keeping it open. When I come here, we have a little on and off button right adjacent to the plug. I just press that little button. I make sure that my tank is all filled. It has to be filled or you will ruin this machine. At the top, we have several buttons. We have our start and stop. That's just to simply start the machine. We have our program, our heat, our time, mist, light, ozone therapy, and CFM, which I'll go over that as I go. Once we start it, we decide what program we want. I like to use open mist. Why? Because before I do any treatment or before I do a color, I can actually just put the client under the mister. I don't even need a product. Because remember, we want to operate and get that cortex ready. Not just the cuticle, the cortex. We want the product to actually get all the way to the cortex. We want color to be amazing and even and easily processed. We want the actual scalp treatment to do its job and to penetrate the scalp and not just sit on the surface as you would if they were under a steamer. So this micro mister is more than just a steamer. A lot of people come and say, can I buy that steamer? No, you are purchasing a micro mister. That's why it's so important, all right? So when clients come in and they have low porosity hair and that outer layer, that cuticle layer is so tight that nothing can penetrate it, guess what can? The micro mister, right? So you following me here? So far we had the follicle growth shampoo. The micro mister in itself can help product penetrate all the way to the cortex. This is your before treatment. This can be your actual treatment. And we're going to talk about how it's going to be the consistent treatment in building that system. So this micro mister, they have several programs, and it can be changed. The button's right underneath the power. We have heat. Now, it starts at 45 degrees Celsius. That's pretty cool. At that temperature, the cuticle layer opens. And do you know, because of the way the micro mister actually breaks down the molecular size of the water, that it still penetrates not just through the cuticle, but all the way down to the cortex. At 45 degrees Celsius, this machine is already treating the hair and the scalp because the vibration emitted from this machine right here is creating that micro mist, breaking down the molecular structure so that it's deeply penetrated. So much that it's actually doing a job without any product at all. I know she's like, what is she talking about? Yes, I'm talking about the micro mister, ozone LED micro mister. So the vibration, the ultrasonic frequency that creates the mist that is emitted from the machine is already a treatment in itself without anything. Because unlike the steamer, with the bigger water molecule that can't penetrate but so far past the cuticle, the micro mister can, and it can do it at a very low temperature. So if you have a client that come in and they have a sensitive scalp or a sensitive condition, they have a situation where they really can't do anything. You want that product to penetrate deeper, but you don't want to harm them and make them uncomfortable. This would be the machine that you put them under. So now your premium service can go further. You can actually help more people in their situations and circumstances. So that is the micro mister part of the machine. Now you can add what we call LED, or what I like to call it, photobiomodulation, meaning we're healing the scalp and operating to penetrate the hair deeper using light therapy. And if you haven't heard of it, light therapy is being used in aesthetics and has been used in aesthetics for a very long time. Now, you know the frequencies. You know I got to run through them because that's one of the most important parts about the LED. So you have the micro mist that already has a smaller molecular size so it can penetrate all the way down to the cortex. Then you have the lights. Now I have the old machine. Now I wish I had the new one. The old one only had 4 lights. So if you got the new one, you got real lucky because I got the red, the blue, the green, and the yellow. And that's it. Okay, I got the white. Everybody got the white. But there's 2 more that I'll talk about as well. So the red is going to stimulate the blood flow of the scalp. You got a quick question? Where does the head go? We don't want to. We're going in here. We're going to stand up. We're going to put the head. No, just kidding. So let me show you where the hair goes. Let me show you. I can at least do that. That's for my client over there. The client will sit right here. The head will go right here. This will wrap firmly around the perimeter of the hairline, and you're going to secure it with this drawstring. You're going to make sure you secure it. I'm going to tell you why in a moment. And you're going to close this because we don't want to leave that open. That ultrasonic energy, that frequency that's created the micro mist, we want all that to be contained, so you're going to close it. But I just opened it to explain it. Thank you for your question. So the LED, photobiomodulation, that red is going to increase the healthy blood flow. And when you increase that circulation, you are bringing more nutrients, more oxygen, so the hair can grow quicker. So within 4 to 6 weeks, you're already seeing microscopically the vellus hair arriving without any product at all. Just the ozone LED micro mister in itself. The blue light. Now, my son just recently got his facial. We have a wonderful team player who did his facial, and she put the mask on. He said, I know what this is. This changes lights. And she said, yes, it does. He said, well, I want the blue light. And she was like, the blue light? He said, yeah, I want the blue light because he had acne. He's only 16. He had acne. And the blue light minimizes the bacteria on the scalp that causes folliculitis and other scalp disorders and discomforts. And you want to minimize that bacteria. Remember, we want a healthy scalp biome. When that biome is balanced, you don't have these issues. There is minimized dry, itchy scalp. There are no breakouts. There's no tenderness. I have clients who have gone other places and got services, natural hair care services, who had to come back to get their scalp treated. And so I needed to soothe their scalp, calm their irritation, and decrease the bacteria on their scalp. And the blue light helped me do that. Now I'm going to bridge that right into the green light. The green light soothes the scalp. So when that client came in and they had something in their scalp I couldn't quite see, so it doesn't always look like a pimple. Sometimes it's just a bump. And they say, you know what they say? They say, feel right there. Do you feel anything? Well, first of all, I have my gloves on because I know about the scalp biome. And I don't know if I'm going to feel anything at all, but they do. And I trust that whatever they're telling me, they need me to help treat it. Because remember, I want to put them in the program. I'm going to put them systematically in sync to treat the scalp. So as I decrease the bacteria found on the scalp, the bad bacteria that is, because, you know, we got a little everything up there. Now they get less discomfort. After that visit, the client says, my scalp doesn't hurt anymore. That bump that I thought I had, it disappeared. And I always tell them when they leave, make sure you text me every couple of days to let me know how you're feeling, how your scalp's feeling. Because if you tell them that you care, you show them that they care, guess what they're signing up for? They're signing up for that membership. They're signing up for that service that you are promoting, and they're trusting you because you are giving them actual results. So the red light's going to stimulate, the blue is going to reduce the bacteria, and then we have the green light, which is soothing the scalp. Well, then we can't not talk about the yellow light because that's one of my favorites now. The yellow deals with the lymphatic drainage of the scalp. Did you hear me? Like the lymph, like this is serious. And then also soothes an irritable scalp. So all of these lights you can cycle through while they're under the mister. Remember, we start at 45 degrees Celsius, so it doesn't even have to be hot. But we go all the way up to about 65 degrees Celsius, which for most is a little too hot. So I always operate between 45 and 55 degrees Celsius. I cycle through the lights to decide which light is going to be best. Now, if I need a combination of red light and blue light, I'll turn on the purple setting because the purple is a combination of both. You're going to increase the ATP cell turnover, you're going to increase that blood flow, and you're also going to decrease the bacteria all in one light. That's the difference between the old machine and the new machine. That new machine is going to give you that combination photobiomodulation therapy. So let's just say combination light therapy, because I like to combine things. I like to make those systems so wonderful that those clients can't resist it. So when I say it's going to be an extra $150, they go, no problem. When I say you got to come in 3 times a month to get this service done, they go, cool beans. When they are no longer worried about spending the proper money investing in scalp care, they will get any hairstyle. And sometimes, my preference now, they don't even get a style. They come in just for the treatment. They come in because that is more important. If the scalp is not well, if the biome is not balanced, then no style will last. And everything can become an irritant. Just as somebody had a high histamine level because they were exposed to an allergen, if they have sensitivity to the scalp, and you're constantly adding the hair that has the chemicals, you're constantly putting on the color that has chemicals, and don't get me wrong, I love color. You all know I love color. But if the scalp is at a point where it's very sensitive, you need something that's going to do the job, and this ozone LED micro mixer can do just that. Now let's get to the white light. Usually we get to the white light, everybody's like, what is that? The white light is full spectrum. It has the shortest wavelength. The shortest wavelength actually operates more vast, encompasses all the lights. So now you are sanitizing the scalp without harming the natural microbiome of the scalp, that biome balance. So the white light's also very important. So if they come in, they need the hair growth. They got to decrease the bacteria on the scalp. They need that lymphatic stimulation, decrease of inflammation, soothe the scalp. The white light will give you all of them. So remember, we can start out at 45 degrees Celsius. We don't have to have it super hot. This is not a steamer. This is a micro mister. So the molecular structure of the water would deeply penetrate all the way to the cortex or anything else you might have on the hair or the scalp. So this works alongside topicals in an amazing way. So today, this micro mister can be ordered. You have to wait a few weeks to get it because it sold out at our last show. Last 2-3 shows are sold out. I know it should be $1,000. I know. You're ready to make that investment. I know. I know you probably heard me say it was $750 before. But at this show, it is $550. Now, we're not taking monthly payments. We're not doing financing. But what we are doing is that we are taking the orders so that you too can provide these services for your customers. So the ozone LED micro mister at the lowest setting can penetrate all the way to the cortex. The light therapy can enhance whatever you put on the hair, even if you have nothing there. Now let's talk about the ozone. The ozone is one of my favorites. This is why we have this tension release here to make sure that the hood fits securely around the perimeter of the hairline. The ozone has to stay contained. Now, this machine also has an extension. So if you do head spa or planning to do head spa services, there is a hose that slides conveniently right over the area where the micro mist is emitted. The hose will come through here. You will lower the machine itself because it does go up or down so that it reaches the proper height. And then there's another hood that actually completely encloses around the scalp so that you can still perform your light therapy. Remember, at the lowest setting, it doesn't have to be high. You can still perform those therapies and add the ozone therapy. But with the ozone, you want to make sure that everything is closed. You want to make sure it's securely around the head. Now, you probably heard of ozone therapy before, because I know we got some Michael Jackson fans. Well, he used to go in the oxygen therapy chamber. Why? Because it eradicates fungus, bacteria. So that yeast you've seen growing on your client's scalp, and you're trying to figure out, well, what should I do? What product do I use? Well, I already talked about the shampoo you can use with the follicle system, but now you can use it with the micro mister. So that we will call that the pre-treatment. Help break down the buildup on the scalp, creating the light therapy, breaking down anything that you don't feel like exfoliating. If the client comes in and they have seborrheic dermatitis, which is the oily, yellowish flakes, if they have the white flakes on their scalp, you are not supposed to scrape that from the scalp. When you aggravate it, you exacerbate the situation, meaning that you make it worse. So what you can do is give them a scalp treatment and put them under the micro mister. And now it will break down for you. Now, by default, it will soften the hair. I always have a story. So I had a client, and I didn't want to go put a hazmat suit on. And I put her under there with the follicle system, the shampoo to be exact, to break down what was on her scalp. I want to simulate healthy hair growth. I want to give her tensile strength. And I also want to exfoliate. Because remember, the white willow bark is a natural exfoliant. And remember, the micro mist is going to make sure we're detoxifying that hair and exfoliating the scalp all in one. Because it's getting all the way to the cortex and deeper layers of the scalp. That client sat under there. I didn't forget about it. I was just really busy. You know, when you just keep adding like another 5 minutes, you're like, let me give myself 10 minutes. Oh, she fell asleep. Let me give her the 15 minutes. And I was finished twisting. And I got to her and I said, woo, she's still asleep. She didn't even know. Oh, there's a little extra, which is okay because normally the service is about 15 to 20 minutes under the micro mister. It doesn't take that long for this process to happen. But I went over there and I got her. I said, okay, let me get her to the shampoo bowl. And she was calm and she was like falling asleep. She's like, that was a great experience. Like, I don't know what that thing is. How often do I need to get it? She was just in love. So I was like, okay, let's get to the shampoo bowl. And I'm shampooing her hair. And I realized her hair felt soft. And I'm like, hold on. I know everything about the follicle system, the shampoo. This cannot be happening. I did not just discover something else. The shampoo by itself softened the hair. You understand what I'm saying? It softened it. So I'm like, wait, it's giving you tensile strength. It's stimulating the growth, but it's also exfoliating. But why is her hair soft? Like, what's happening? So I go back and I look at the ingredients. I'm like, okay, we got the hibiscus, that's soothing. Got the ginseng, the yerba mate. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is conditioning the hair. So her hair felt soft. I didn't have to detangle. I did not have to work that hard. Her scalp was easy to exfoliate by just doing the regular scalp manipulations. So I'm sitting at the shampoo bowl, and now I can relax. I can time the shampoo to make sure I don't go overboard. Because she's paying for a service. She's paying for my time. I can give her the proper scalp massage. I don't have to try to overcompensate in that scalp massage to get the money that I am worth. Because of the ozone LED micro mister. So that's how important it is. It enhances all of your services. So if you use the mist alone, how are you? Good morning. Adding the light therapy, and then you add the ozone. Now you're probably wondering, well, how am I going to charge for this? You're just going to charge? Well, how much do I charge? You're going to double or triple what you already charge using the steamer. Because remember, this is better than the steamer. The molecular structure of this machine itself, the water that's emitted from it, is going to penetrate all the way to the cortex. And I don't want you to forget that, because that's a vital part in that consultation of telling that client you're going to help revitalize the hair. Whether it's low porosity, high porosity, you're going to balance it out with the micromister. Because remember, it works at any temperature, not just 65 degrees Celsius, but all the way down at 45 degrees Celsius. Now, I know I talk a lot about the shampoo, but we also have the conditioner. So this conditioner is very important because it works in sync with the shampoo. So the conditioner has CoQ10, it has panthenol, B5. So when I have those clients that come in and their hair is of a different density, different texture, it might be naturally straight, and they say, well, can I use it at all? Yes, you can. Yes, you can use it. It's a cream conditioner, but it's very light. It doesn't over moisturize, it gives you balance within the hair itself. It is designed to work in sync with the shampoo, and it also is stimulating. So these two are by far my favorites. But remember, we do have ozone therapy pre-poo now. Yes, we do. And it is going to be more popular as I talk about it. I'm going to start bringing the pre-poo on stage. We got a whole ozone line. All right. We also have the drops and we have the balm. Now, the drops are very interesting. As the drops smell, you know, like grandma's special formula. It don't smell good, y'all. I'm just sorry. It don't smell good. It don't smell like flowers. I know we opened up the argan system, which is for moisture, by the way. And we're like, oh, that argan system smells good because it's got apple and all. It's like a papaya. It's got all these fruits. Well, the follicle drops don't have that. But it does have another superpower. So when you have the customers with scar tissue, this is going to help the hair begin to grow. For whatever follicle needs that energy to be revitalized, to stimulate new hair. The follicle system drops will also help regulate the sebaceous glands. When the sebaceous glands of the scalp are not regulated, or the oil that's emitted, it's too oily. It's so much oil that when I look at it microscopically, it's swimming in the oil. We don't want the hair swimming in oil. We don't need to oil the scalp to the point where everything is floating. Moisture does not come through oiling the scalp. Yeah, moisture doesn't come from oiling the hair either. The carrier for moisture is water. So I'm going to point back to the micro mister because that already changed the molecular structure of the water itself, getting all the way to the cortex. That's giving you your moisture, not over oiling the scalp. So when the scalp sebaceous glands are out of whack, it's not producing enough, it's producing too much, now the follicle drops. Remember, it don't smell that good, y'all. It's okay. Yeah, I just had to. It has its own herbal smell. So if you like the herbal smell, it has that. Now, some people like it. I love when they come over to the booth and they're just like, I smell it, and I'm like, here you go, you can smell it. And they're like, I like that. I'm like, ooh, you like that? Okay, I like that you like that. Now, our follicle growth temple balm doesn't get that much attention. It doesn't. But I promise you, it's been reformulated. I just discovered this last 2 shows. It now smells like everything else. So use the drops during the day. That's going to help you regulate your sebaceous glands. Remember, it penetrates the scalp all the way down 20 nanometers of the scalp. So it's going a little deeper. And if I really want to hype it up, because you don't rinse it out, if they come to the salon and they're getting my quad luxury experience with the shampoo, the conditioner, the drops, and the scalp balm, I'm sitting them under the micro mister once I apply it. So after that shampoo, after the conditioner, I apply the drops, I sit them under. Why? Because that's going to give you deeper penetration. So if I really want these drops to be more effective, I'm going to increase that efficacy by sitting them underneath the micro mister. Now, I send them home if they're buying that luxury experience. You remember LED luxury experience that was on my flyer? I send them home with just a little bit of the Temple Balm. The Temple Balm is important because it's high in antioxidants. So I know everybody loves vitamin E. We've all used vitamin E almost time. That vitamin E isn't as powerful as green tea. It has green tea extract. That green tea extract is 30 times more potent than vitamin E. So this whole line has got your clients covered. If you're wondering, like, why is it that we only have the follicles and we don't need anything else? So it's moisturizing, actually by default. That conditioner is amazing. You're deep cleansing and exfoliating the scalp. You're balancing the biome, promoting healthy hair growth, balancing the sebaceous glands, working even through the scar tissue of the scalp. And now we have the high antioxidants for the oxidative stress. That whole system is a package. That whole system is a premium service. That entire premium service can go under a membership. That membership can give you consistent income. And if they like and love the product and they shampoo their hair at home, it could then give you a residual. Because once they pick up the product and they use it in between the services and they're consistent, they're coming in to buy the product from you. They're using it at home and you did not have to stand there and do the service. Now, when you see us at the show, you get all 4 products for $65. Guess how much you retail it for? This is my favorite part. Well, outside of all the ingredients and all the great things. $175. So all 4 of these products, $65 for the 8-ounce. Shampoo, conditioner, follicle system drops, and the balm, $65. They're going to retail it for $175. And if they like it and love it and want a bigger size, one size up. 16-ounce shampoo, conditioner, follicle drops, Temple Balm, all 4 products, $75. And how much are you going to retail that for? $200. I like how those numbers go. You like how those numbers go? I love how those numbers go. I love it so much that I have to place my order at the show so I can get it at this discount. Because, I mean, you could set up your professional account and you could order it when you're not at a show, but you're going to pay a little bit more. If you don't mind paying additional $20 per pack, if you're ordering by the case, it is better to order at the show. So I have a lot of professionals ordering half a dozen, a full dozen, because each one of those packs for $65 or $75, that $65 pack, they're going to retail it for $175. That 16-ounce bottle that they have that they bought for $75, shampoo, conditioner, the drops, and the balm, they're retailing that for $200. So yes, they are flipping money legally in the shop, in the barbershop. So that is my favorite product line. So that is how the follicle system goes in sync with our ozone LED micro mister. Those are my favorite 2 systems to put together. Now, I will have an advanced class to help create those services for the ozone LED micro mister. It does require a bit of feedback, so I need to know what products you're already using, what those services are, where you're located, so I can look up the demographic to help you create those premium services that become packages, which become memberships, which increases your retail retention. So you begin to get residual income. We're about time? 2 minutes. So thank you all. This has been fun. I decided this morning this was going to be for my team, so this is for you, not for me. Please continue asking me questions. Thank you, thank you. And hopefully I have the slot where I have more of you all to listen to me, to get on stage and represent pure old natural. Thank you so much. I'm Shameeka Stanley, all the way up for the DMV. Sign up for my classes. Meet me at the booth. Come talk to me.